The mind is everything. What you think, you become. The self cannot be known by the mind or the senses. It can only be known through direct experience. Those who see the self in all beings and all beings in the self, they attain the highest state of consciousness. The self is beyond all names and forms, beyond all concepts and ideas. It is the source of all creation and the ultimate reality. The self is like a hidden treasure, buried deep within the heart. Only through meditation and self-inquiry can it be discovered. The self is not separate from the universe. It is the universe, and the universe is the self. The self is the same in all beings, and it is through the self that all beings are connected and interdependent. The self is the eternal witness, the eternal knower, and the eternal doer. It is the source of all activity, but it itself is always beyond activity. The self is the eternal witness, always present, always aware, and always beyond the grasp of the senses and the mind. The self is beyond all duality, beyond all concepts of good and evil, and beyond all limitations of time and space. The self is the source of all love, all joy, and all beauty. It is the essence of life itself. The self is the ultimate reality, beyond all concepts and ideas. It is the same in all beings, and it is the source of all existence. The self is the ocean of pure consciousness, and the waves of the mind and the senses cannot disturb its infinite calm. The self is the light of all lights, the source of all knowledge, and the ultimate reality of all that is. The self is not an object of perception, nor is it an object of thought. It is the very essence of the perceiver and the thinker. The self is the ultimate refuge, the ultimate goal, and the ultimate reality. It is the source of all wisdom, all power, and all bliss. The self is the eternal, unchanging reality that underlies all changing phenomena. It is the source of all energy, all creativity, and all intelligence. The self is the source of all happiness, all peace, and all fulfillment. It is the ultimate goal of human life. The self is the witness consciousness that observes all phenomena without being affected by them. It is the ultimate seer and knower. The self is the source of all power, all wisdom, and all love. It is the ultimate reality that transcends all limitations and all boundaries. The self is the source of all meaning, all purpose, and all significance. It is the ultimate reality that gives value and depth to all of our experiences. The self is the ultimate refuge, the ultimate friend, and the ultimate guide. It is the eternal source of protection and support. The self is the ultimate reality that underlies all names and forms. It is the essence of all existence, and it is the ultimate goal of all human beings. The self is the pure consciousness that is beyond all dualities, all limitations, and all boundaries. It is the ultimate reality that transcends all concepts and ideas. The self is the eternal witness that sees all phenomena without being affected by them. It is the ultimate seer and knower. The self is the source of all light, all knowledge, and all power. It is the ultimate reality that illuminates all existence. The self is the ultimate reality that underlies all appearances, all forms, and all qualities. It is the essence of all that is. The self is the ultimate reality that is beyond all time and space, beyond all causation and effect. It is the eternal, unchanging truth. The self is the ultimate reality that is beyond all words and all concepts. It is the ineffable mystery that can only be experienced directly. The self is the ultimate reality that is beyond all desires, all fears, and all attachments. It is the ultimate freedom and liberation. The self is the ultimate reality that is present in all beings and all things. It is the one underlying essence that unites all of creation. The self is the eternal, unchanging reality that is beyond all names and forms. It is the ultimate truth that can only be realized through direct experience. The self is the ultimate reality that is beyond all pleasure and pain, all joy and sorrow. It is the ultimate peace and bliss. The self is the ultimate reality that is beyond all doubts and all fears. It is the ultimate certainty and confidence. The self is the ultimate reality that is beyond all judgment and all evaluation. It is the ultimate acceptance and love. The self is the ultimate reality that is beyond all karma and all dharma. It is the ultimate freedom and spontaneity. The self is the ultimate reality that is beyond all birth and death, all change and decay. It is the eternal, unchanging truth. The self is the ultimate reality that is beyond all thought and all feeling. It is the pure awareness that is always present. The self is the ultimate reality that is beyond all senses and all objects. It is the pure consciousness that is the basis of all experience. The self is the ultimate reality that is beyond all time and all space. It is the eternal, unchanging truth that is the essence of all existence. The self is the ultimate reality that is beyond all forms and all qualities. It is the ultimate emptiness that is the basis of all manifestation. The self is the ultimate reality that is beyond all knowledge and all ignorance. It is the ultimate wisdom that is the source of all understanding. The self is the ultimate reality that is beyond all individuality and all personality. It is the ultimate oneness that is the source of all diversity. The self is the ultimate reality that is beyond all concepts and all ideas. It is the ultimate mystery that can only be realized through direct experience. The self is the ultimate reality that is beyond all words and all language. It is the ultimate silence that is the source of all sound. The self is the ultimate reality that is beyond all duality and all division. It is the ultimate unity that is the source of all diversity. The self is the ultimate reality that is beyond all movement and all stillness. It is the ultimate peace that is the source of all activity. The self is the ultimate reality that is beyond all knowledge and all ignorance. It is the ultimate reality that is beyond all duality and all division. The self is the ultimate reality that is beyond all mind and all intellect. It is the ultimate consciousness that is the source of all thought. The self is the ultimate reality that is beyond all attachment and all aversion. It is the ultimate detachment that is the source of all love.